Hey folks, I'm going to do another cooking video. This one's going to be linguini and clam sauce. So I'm going to start with spaghetti. It's actually not linguini and clam sauce, it's spaghetti and clam sauce. I'm going to start with spaghetti. I'm going to parboil it using my parboiling trick. See if that works. I don't know if it will. We'll find out. All right, the water is starting to get a little murky from the dissolved starch. Spaghetti's starting to bend. I think we're going to get exactly where we need to be. You want that starchy water because what you're going to wind up doing is making an emulsion of that and your oil. That's the oil. A lot of people use butter for this. I'm using olive oil for everything. And the clam water is really what's going to drive the flavor. So I want this to get just a little more cooked. Oh, it's still hot, good. So should be fine. All right, this is garlic powder that I put just a little bit of water in to turn it into a paste so I can fry it up in the pan with the clams and the clam water. All right, I've opened up my clams. I'm gonna put them in the pot too. Get it all sauteing. Garlic powder paste, the clams, saute, put some red pepper in there. Oh, more than that. There we go. Get it nice and spicy. And some Italian seasoning. There we go. So one of the things I love about this parboiling trick is when you're making spaghetti and clam sauce or aglio or ramen or anything where you want the noodle to absorb the broth, you want the noodle parboiled, but you don't want it fully cooked. That's just a soggy noodle in a sauce. For the noodle to absorb the flavor, it has to be half cooked. And the trick in aglio e olio, which is just garlic and oil with spaghetti, it's a wonderful dish. You really time the spaghetti by using a fork and trying to get it right to this stage where the spaghetti's not limp, but it will bend on the fork when you lift it out. The nice thing about this parboiling trick with just hot water is it's not time sensitive. It'll get there and it'll stay there. The water is never going to fully cook this spaghetti because it's losing heat as it's sitting here. The spaghetti gets to exactly the right, or whatever the noodle is, gets to exactly the right place for parboiling. It releases the starch, which is that cloudiness that you see, and it is ready to absorb something and be finished cooked in the sauce. So when this sauce comes up to temperature, I'm going to put a cup of my water here that has the starch in it. That's part of the emulsion for linguini and pasta. The starch actually helps as a binder for the whole sauce and turns it into that sauce that sticks to the noodle. But the noodles will also finish cooking in there and they will absorb that clam flavor along with all the flavors of the spices once that saute gets going. But this, just using hot water, it takes longer. Yeah, it only takes 4 minutes to do this in a frying pan, but this gets it right every time. And you don't have to, be a professional. You don't have to know the secrets. You just pour hot water on it, let it sit, cook your sauce. The pasta will be correct when it's time. Now the thing here with the sauce is, unlike if you're doing this with garlic, you want to fry out the garlic and have it release those oils. I'm using garlic powder, so I don't really have to fry anything. I'm just bringing this up to a simmer. And then I'm going to add the pasta water and the noodles, not all of it, just a cup, and cook it down. Cook that water off and let the noodles absorb all of the clam sauce and the flavors from the dry spices. But because I'm not using fresh garlic or jar garlic, I don't have to do, there's no pre-frying to do. All right, so what I'm doing here is I just want a cup of this water, this pasta crema water. So this is the half cup, and I'm getting about a quarter cup each, so I'm going to do this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about the right amount. I'm going to bring that back up to a simmer, and I'm going to drain this, and then once the sauce is simmering, I'll put the spaghetti in and we'll cook it down. All right, I've got my noodles drained with just the fork. We'll get this back up to a full rolling simmer. And as soon as that happens, I'll put the noodles in and do about 5 minutes. All right, we're there. So noodles go in, all of them. All right, and this needs about 5 minutes to cook down into just a sauce. Might be a little extra spicy. All right, and what we're doing here is we're cooking this sauce down. So all those clams are releasing their flavor, and the pasta's absorbing that, and the spice and the other garlic, the oil. This is gonna cook down into a thicker sauce. It's still gonna be a little runny when we stop the cook, and then it'll thicken up as we plate it. So what I'm really doing here is watching the steam. When the steam starts to slow down, that means the water's mostly cooked off and it's time to stop. All right, we've gotten to that point where the steam is starting to let off. There's starting to be a little fry on the bottom, and that is it. Noodles are perfectly cooked, and I'm going to plate it. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, that's really good. Needs a little salt. Need some Parmesan. What did I do with my salt? Oh, it's holding up the phone. Parmesan. That is the stuff right there. Wow. Wow. Oh, I'm actually surprised how well this worked. This might have to be my way to do linguini and clam sauce from now on. The hot water parboiling, I think, is going to be what I do from now on. It's so much easier than timing the pasta in a speed cook. Just pour hot water on it, let it get to that perfect state, take the crema off, drain it. This is amazing. This is just like an Italian restaurant, and it's all dry ingredients. And so the point of these videos isn't, hey, Matt can cook underway. It's that it is possible to make good food without refrigerated ingredients. Kind of most of Italian is that way. Lots of Mexican is that way. Lots of foods from cultures where they had taste but they didn't have a lot of money have that same characteristic, and that's kind of what I look for when I'm cooking underway.